Yantiv of Sukkos, the mitzvah that the Torah states, Sukkos Teishru Shuvas Yomim. Sukkos, we all know that the Sukkah surrounds us. It's the only mitzvah in the whole Torah that surrounds us from all sides, from the head, including the toes, which represents the Eibishter hugging us. There's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim, Smoilai tachas leroishi v'yaminai tichapkeni. The pasuk in Shir Hashirim that Knesset Yisrael is saying that the Eibishter has his left arm under my head, but his right arm is hugging me. Hasidus explains that this is going on the Yom Tovim of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, where Hashem acts to us as a king. He's exalted, he's removed, we are in awe of Hashem. That is on the days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom HaKippurim. And as a result of Hashem relating to us as a melech, he's exalted, and we are in awe of him. We do tshuva, and we return to Hashem. But what is the result? The result is that Hashem takes us on Sukkos and he's hugging us. My dear child, I am so happy that you came back to me. And what I want to do now is just hug you. For 7-8 days, what does it mean we sit in a sukkah? Hashem is hugging us. Hugging has something special, even more than kissing, because hugging represents that the one who hugs you does not let you leave, does not let you go. He holds you from his arms in back of you, and he's saying to you, I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to turn around. I want to see you. I want to face you, and you should face me. Hasidus explains that the word face in Hebrew has two meanings. Panim could mean face. Whatever. You have to have the Zionist. Okay. So, panim could mean face, but panim also means panim. The yontif of Sukkos is the time that we get the koyach, we get the energy to stay connected to Hashem in this great love that Hashem has to us. How happy he is that we came back to him, and he's giving us the koyach not to turn away from him, not to turn our face and just do mitzvahs without focusing of what a mitzvah means. It says in the Arizal that there are 7 days of Sukkos, and every day of Sukkos gives us for all the Sundays of the coming year, all the Mondays, all the Tuesdays, the Simcha of Sukkos, the being in the Sukkah on Sukkos, is to last us to the whole year. But the only way that it could last is if we want it to last. If while we are sitting in the Sukkah and the yontif of Sukkos, we pay attention to what the Sukkah is saying to us. The message of the Sukkah is the tremendous love that the Eibishter has to each and every Yid, and he's asking us that we should love him the same way. Like it says, Kemayim hapanim el panim, kein leiv ha'adam el ha'adam. The Alter Rebbe in Perek Memvav in Tanya, when he wants to explain how every Yid could actually develop a love to Hashem. Usually, to love Hashem is one of the most difficult mitzvahs, because we don't see Hashem, we can't touch Hashem, and here we're supposed to love Hashem b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol moedecha. The Rambam himself has great difficulty. How can a Jew get to love Hashem? The Rambam in Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah writes clearly the question, Keitzad Yavai Lahavasai? How can you get to love Hashem? And the Rambam answers, the only way is if you will contemplate on Hashem's greatness. It takes a lot of work, a lot of meditation, but it's mandatory because it's a mitzvah in the Torah. It's a mitzvah that is 24/7. There's no time when we're supposed to love Hashem. We're supposed to love Hashem all the time. How are you supposed to love Hashem? So the Rambam says there is no other way, but you have to learn about Hashem, you have to think about Hashem, you have to contemplate about Hashem, and if you will use your mind, and you will always think about Him, you could eventually get to fulfill this mitzvah of Haftas Hashem Elokecha. But the Alter Rebbe in Perek Memvav is answering this question in the most simple way that is not made for special people, Bala Madrege. The Alter Rebbe starts the Perek and he says, V'yesh derech yosher, there is a straight way, shava lechol nefesh. It's possible for every Yid. And then the Alter Rebbe adds, V'korov hadava me'oid me'oid. Every word, every letter in the Tanya is very, very perfect. And here the Alter Rebbe says something so powerful. He says, Korov hadava me'oid me'oid. The whole Tanya was written on the pasuk Korov eilecha hadava me'oid. The Alter Rebbe wrote the Tanya to explain what did Hashem mean, that to be a Jew the way Hashem wants us to be is Korov me'oid. It's very possible. And Alter Rebbe wrote a whole sefer explaining what did Hashem mean that it's very possible. We know that to be the way Hashem wants us to be 24/7, every moment, is not so easy. And here Hashem says to every Yid that it is possible and it's Karayv Miyait. And the Torah was written to every Yid. So the Alter Rebbe wrote a whole sefer trying to explain what did Hashem mean when he said it's Karayv Miyait. Very possible. But in this Perek, the Alter Rebbe adds more than what it says in the Pasuk. In the Pasuk it says one time it's Karayv Miyait, and in this Perek the Alter Rebbe starts Perek Memvav. I'm going to give you a derech yosher shava lechol nefesh v'karayv miyait. This got to be the most exciting perek in the whole Tanya. He's going more than what it says in the Torah. The Torah says one time miyait, and the Alter Rebbe adds another miyait. So the Rebbe explains that what did the Alter Rebbe mean twice? Miyait. Says the Rebbe, you could think the Tanya got to be talking about very good people. But me, I'm just a lowlife. The Torah, there's no way that the Torah is talking about me. Says the Alter Rebbe, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. That if you really believe that you are a nobody, that you are a lowlife, then I'm going to give you something that even you will be able to relate to and get an ava. Because you think you're low, if you really mean it, I'm going to give you a recipe to develop a love to Hashem, even you on your lowest level that you think you are. And what does the Alter Rebbe say? He gives a mashal, he gives a parable of a melech, a real melech. We don't even have now an example of a real melech. But if we could imagine a melech, a tremendous melech, very great king, and he leaves his palace and he takes all his ministers and all the soldiers and he goes all the way to the slums, to the Bowery. I don't know if you know where the Bowery is, but there used to be a place where all kinds of drunks lived. And the Melech goes all the way down to the gutter, to places where dirty, low-life places. And the Melech goes all the way there, and he lifts the person who is in the mud, in the dirt. He picks him up, and he hugs him and kisses him, and brings him back to his chambers in his palace. How would that person feel when the Melech himself came to me and picked me up while I am so dirty and I'm down in the dumps? You would melt. You would feel such a love back to the Melech. How can the Melech come special to me and kiss me and hug me and bring me back to his chambers? Says the Alter Rebbe, This is what Hashem is doing to us every time we do a mitzvah. What is a mitzvah? Many people used to think, American Jewry thinks a mitzvah is a good deed. I'm sure it's a good deed, but a mitzvah does not mean a good deed. A mitzvah means it's a commandment, but the Alter Rebbe says that the word mitzvah comes from the word attachment. When a Yid does a mitzvah, he becomes attached to Hashem himself. In matter of fact, the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya that before we make a bracha, before we do a mitzvah, and we say the words Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav, the literal translation of the word Kiddishanu means you sanctified us with your commandments. But the Alter Rebbe says Kiddishanu could also mean Kiddushin, marriage. When a Yid does a mitzvah, he becomes married to God forever. Not a bad shidduch, huh? Who was the matchmaker over here? A Yid does a mitzvah, one mitzvah, and you become married to God, Kiddishanu, betrothal. Now, says the Alter Rebbe, the Melech gets married to you? How could you not? You are, a minute ago, you are in the dumps. You are in a toilet bowl. And this Melech comes to me. He leaves his palace. He leaves everything he has. And what is he doing? He's not just saying, good morning, what's up, how you doing? He comes over to us, and he hugs us, and kisses us, and marries us, and the marriage is forever. Says the Alter Rebbe, now, if this doesn't get you, I don't know what could get you. Kemayim apanim lepanim, Hashem made that the nature of two people, that if one person shows tremendous love to the next person, you automatically, naturally have the same feeling back to that person. Much more so if it's the Melech and I'm the guy in the dumps. Says the Alter Rebbe, you want to know how to be Mekayim, the mitzvah of loving Hashem, you got to sit down and meditate. What does Hashem do for you? Every time you do a mitzvah, every time you learn Torah, every time you make a bracha, every time you say Shema Yisrael, every moment when a Yid does what Hashem wants you to do, you become attached to Him. You become married to Him forever. Says the Alter Rebbe, now I could understand when the Torah says that to keep Torah and mitzvahs is karov miyoid. It is karov miyoid if you use your head. I can't put on a head for you, but I could give you material what to think about, what life is all about, what are mitzvahs, what is Torah. Many people think that religion is controlling us. Can't do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do it this way, you gotta do it that way. The Alter Rebbe explains this in a very simple way. You have a parent who has a child, let's say it's the only child, and you're very careful that the child should not cross the street without somebody helping them cross the street, or making sure that they put on a coat and they don't get cold. Is the parent trying to control the child? This is out of love, out of tremendous care, that every little detail, I'm trying to protect you. Religion is all about love. We have to understand Hashem is first Avinu, and then he's Malkeinu. He's our Father. A Father who loves us infinitely. And all the mitzvahs, and all the rabbis bringing more protection, more restrictions. These are restrictions out of love. It's because how much you matter to Hashem, that he's protecting us not to hurt ourselves, to make sure that we have the right clothes, the right foods, the right things to keep us spiritually healthy. So what it takes is thinking a little bit before we do a mitzvah, to think, what am I going to do now? What is a mitzvah? Of course, if we don't stop and think, we're not going to appreciate anything. But it's in our hands. Baruch Hashem, we have Hasidus that explains everything down to earth, how we could relate to all of this. Everything is explained, spoon-feeded to us. We only need to pay attention, and that we have to do ourselves. Pashas Hazinu, we just read last Shabbos. Moshe Rabbeinu spoke a whole Sefer Hadvarim, right? But what did he end up? He ended up with 2 words. Simu levavchem. You gotta pay attention. I could talk today till tomorrow, nothing is gonna change. But if you take these words to heart, you could develop a love to Hashem. You could realize what means sitting in a sukkah. Imagine a sukkah means God's hugging us. How much he loves us. Now, we could understand why by Hasidim, even when it rains and pours and gushes, we still sit in the sukkah. It seems to be a little bit weird. It's pouring cats and dogs, and we're sitting in the sukkah like a yo-yo. But if you realize what the sukkah is, Hashem is busy hugging you. And you can say, I'm sorry, God, could we postpone this hug for tomorrow? Would that make any sense? Let's imagine you didn't see your father for 50 years. He just came off the plane He was in Russia or somewhere, and it's pouring cats and dogs. Are you going to say, Dad, I love you, but let's leave it for tomorrow? No retard would do that. No one. If a sukkah means that Hashem is hugging us, the only time 1 week that he says, I'm not letting you go. The Rebbe says, a very interesting point, that the Gemara says, any person who doesn't have a home is not a complete person. A person needs to have a home. What is our home throughout Sukkos? The Sukkah is our home. So even when we're not in the Sukkah, we're still connected to the Sukkah because that's our home. So even when you're not in the Sukkah, Hashem is still busy hugging you. It's the whole Sukkos, 24 hours every day of Sukkos. So bottom line is, we have to get used to the fact that Hashem is Avinu and then Malkeinu. That's how we have to talk to our children, and we have to talk to ourselves, that Hashem loves us and He wants to be in touch with us all the time. Just like when you have children, you want to be in touch with your children, you want to know how they're doing all the time. You can't set up a time, oh, now I'm interested in my child. Hashem wants to be in